Hello, this is Erica DELSIGNORE. I am the founder of Daily Lead Campaign. We are a social media advertising agency where we bring our clients leads through social media and video marketing. And you are watching my video interview series called Great Minds, Great Marketing, where I bring interesting entrepreneurs from around the world to you to discuss the types of business they're doing, and they come from all walks of life. And what we all have in common is growing our business and how they're doing that through marketing and coming up with some really interesting things that they've got. Now, I am so excited to talk to you today, to talk with Terrie Christine. She is here. She is a clairvoyant, and she is going to teach us how to use our intuition in any business situation to help bring in new business and to just make things go smoothly. Because we're all dealing with a lot of different personalities out there, and I know that you actually have a lot of interesting information for us today about how we can get it right the first time with our clients and our prospects. Thank you so much for joining us today on the call, Terrie.
Oh, Erica, thank you. I'm really happy to be here today. This is great.
Well, it's been fantastic. I've known you for a couple of years now. We've been meeting at all of these events, and I have to say that I really think one of our first lunches together, you and yourself and a few others were able to help me come up with a great idea that made me, I think, over $50,000 one year. So.
Oh,
Yeah, so I mean, that was just from masterminding with you and a couple other people at that lunch we had at Speaking Empire. I don't know if you remember the lunch with Carolyn we had, but
yeah, I
yeah.
remember that. That's really awesome because, when you're masterminding, you're getting into the energy of all of that, right? And it's
Mhm.
you who has to step into that energy to choose to allow yourself to do that. And so you took guided action and trusted it enough. So good for you.
Well, thank you very much. And it's been so cool to watch what you've been doing lately. So, first of all, let's introduce what you do because honestly, I'm not going to explain it as well as you can, and talk about how you got into what you were doing now, and I'll let you just go for it.
Well, thank you. So I'm an internationally known intuitive life coach, and I'm a psychic medium. So it's all energy. So I connected the energy of the person. This is what I specialize. I help people clear blocks. And a block is a false belief, usually created before the age of 7. And it's between a caregiver, such as your mom or your dad. And so you pull in something in that time and space. Now remember, you as a child with the child mind took it in, not your adult educated, experienced mind. And so as the child, you may be experienced on a level of, 2, 3, 4, 5, in that range. And you're saying to yourself, I'm not going to let that happen, or I want this, or I want to make sure that happens. And so you own that and pull that in. And then here you are, 20s, 30s, 40s, and beyond. And then you struggle in life with certain aspects. And then you don't know where it's coming from. But that trigger, that feeling that bubbles up from the experience you're having with someone is the moment that you can go back to where you created that limiting belief and that block and to heal from it because it helped you then, but it's not helping you now. And so where I ended up being where I am now is that actually I was in a 14-year relationship and we were never married. We had 2 children together, and I so much wanted love, so much that last year I cried every single night because I wasn't getting that full connection. I didn't even feel as if he loved me. So 3 months before the end of the relationship, I woke up at 3 a.m., got out of the bed, crawled into the bathroom, and cried and cried. And I was so ready, and I told God, take me. I'm done. If I can't have what I really truly desired, there's nothing else left. And so I remember feeling that and saying that. And all of a sudden, I got this complete sense of calmness all around me. I started feeling like I was floating. I was in the universe. I could see stars so close. I could touch them. And
Wow.
yes, and I could taste this damn taste in my mouth. And I'll never, ever forget when I heard those words, love will come. It echoed, it was masculine, it was right there as if it was permeating through my body. I knew instantly my life changed. I just felt it. I got up, went back to bed. Next day, completely changed. I went out, I bought all these self-help books. I started reading 3 and 4 books at a time, and I can hardly finish one nowadays. I was reading them to gain knowledge, to feel. I knew, yes, love's coming. I'm at it. I got it. It was all within. I started taking classes like intuitive development and crystals and energy, things that were starting to resonate. People were coming to me with messages. Crazy stuff, crazy stuff that was happening to me because I wasn't even meditating at that time. I knew nothing about spirituality or law of attraction. It wasn't even in my field of life. But instantly that changed into it. And then as life proceeded, I had another experience where my grandfather passed unexpectedly, and my sister was his best friend, and all she wanted was to connect to him. And so I connected the 3 of us to a medium. And at the end of that conversation, she says, I never saw myself doing this. If I can do it, anybody can do it. Whoop, I took it in. I owned it. And I said, whoa, I want to heal and help people just like that. And then it moved me into taking more classes, but with masters. I was fully into embracing and healing people because she saved my sister's life. That's exactly the way I felt. And then here I am today. I help people to let go of all that stuff that they took in that they felt was what they needed at that time, but they're still hanging on to it and they don't need it anymore.
Wow, that's amazing. And so that's how you got started. It really was. I was wondering if you were going to tell me if it was like a thunder strike coming out of the heavens, and you just how all of a sudden you had an experience where you realized you had these special types of intuition. Now, there are 3 types of intuition. Am I correct? And you have all 3?
Well, there are 6 actually. And I hold the strongest 3, which are clairaudient, clairvoyant, and clairsentient. So I can see, I can hear, and I can feel. And so it's connecting to all that is, the energy around you, all the way to source. And I allow those feelings or the conversation that I hear or the movies that I see. The challenge with most people is that we all have it. But it's trusting those abilities, trusting what you have. I trust it 100%. I cleared all my limiting beliefs. Now, I still am triggered with some things. We have a lifetime, even past life stuff that is triggered up. But what I allow myself is that when I feel it, when I see it, when I hear it, that I trust it as a message to help other people. And the more you trust, as I trust 100%, the answers are accurate, and that's how I can help people in a very profound way.
Wow, that's incredible. So what types of people do you help?
I help everybody, but the majority of my clients are 45 to 55-year-old women. You know, they get to a point in their life that they've had children and they've taken care of them, and now they're at the end of high school or going into college. They've taken care of their husband, or they're divorced and they did take care of their husband or their partner. And then they're saying, you know what about me? And there's nothing at all egotistic about that. They feel that they have given so much of themselves that there's this space saying, I feel vulnerable. I feel lost. I feel frustrated. I feel lonely. I feel like there's more, and they're doing this, right? Doing this kind of stuff. I need more. I want more. I have to have more. And they don't know where they can get it because all of these blocks that are holding them from being able to get it. Some of these blocks can be very profound, of the feeling of not being good enough, not being heard, not being seen, feeling that they're, not going to get what they truly want because they haven't at this point. So again, all of those limiting beliefs with the child mind, if you take it back there and then allow them to shift out those subconscious, energetic blocks, those limiting beliefs, so that they can say, you know what? I do deserve this. I am smart. I am heard. I am beautiful. I am all that and more. I'm groovy, I'm magnificent, and a bag of chips.
So it sounds like you really help them build up their self-confidence through getting rid of that negative self-talk that they've had for so many years. It started way back when, and then something has triggered that.
So, it's a combination. It's not just self-confidence. Just like when you were at the table and you said that we were masterminding and there were some things that we were popping out, the answers in your head that just come in. And so I help people to connect to trusting the answers that pop in. I help them trust to that GPS, that inner guidance, trusting within themselves. So it's more than just confidence or saying I can speak on a stage. It's allowing themselves to forgive mom for mom telling them they're not smart enough. And forgiving dad for leaving the family unit because he didn't love mom anymore. And then that child or that woman taking it in saying, I'm not good enough because dad left me. Letting go of that deeper pain and the forgiveness of what you took in then. And then moving into your authentic true being. When I say authentic true being, we're dating. Let's say, many people are out there dating. They ended a relationship or that was terminated or whatever. And so when you're at your true authentic self, it's that connection. So you meet someone and you read their profile and you're like, well, he sounds kind of cool or she sounds kind of cool. And you meet them and you're like, I'm not getting it. They're nice, they look good, but they're just not connecting to me. They're not connecting to your vibration, your authentic self, that juicy goodness, the fun and adventurous self. And that's where I help people connect to their own juicy, authentic self. So if that helps you understand in that scenario of dating, that you can go all your life and never truly connect to yourself. You're busy making everybody else happy or trying to fulfill a void because of some past drama or trauma, that once you let go, heal, release, forgive, then you're fully connected to that good juiciness inside. And then it builds up that you're just all that and more, and you know what you want. Knowing, connecting. You with me?
Right. Yeah, no, I get it. No, I was kind of laughing a little because it's so funny you said, so when you're looking online, it's like that is the only way to date now. You're not just meeting people anymore. It's all about being online. I met my husband online too, and that was 10 years ago or more. So, yeah, I absolutely understand. So, let's talk about your business. We get what we're understanding what you do. I definitely want to get back to how the topic as well, where you're going to teach us how we can really use our intuition to get what we want. But it's a marketing call too. So I know that you've put so much into rebranding yourself over the last year. You've had new pictures taken, new ads, you're doing videos, you're doing everything. And I know for my listeners and my watchers, my viewers rather, there's a lot of things that you can do in marketing to get new clients and to increase your visibility and credibility. And so, what combination of marketing tactics are you using to really build your business, and how's it working?
Yeah, you know, I I know when there's things that you don't know, you have to learn a little bit. So you take online courses and you just learn, even though you may not be doing it, it's really good to know what it is that someone else is doing for you. You can have a more educated conversation with the person that you hire. So I've spent the time to really educate myself in social media, in NLP, in branding, in writing copy, and videos, how to do them, how to present yourself, lighting. I mean, I've gone on
Yeah,
and on and on. And so, sorry, I got the end of the flu. I still have this smoky,
oh,
sexy voice. So,
I like it.
thank you. So, what I found is exposure is really important. And if you truly want to do more than what you're doing now, so I've run across a lot of people in networking events. I get out there. So I do meetups. I
Right.
find there's some, I belong to two different networking events, and I do go to them. Even if it's raining, even if it's cold, even if I have a stuffy nose, I go. Because when you're there regularly, they see your face, and all of a sudden they say, "Man, I've seen you for the past 6 months. I don't really know about you." Well, hello. But because that sometimes happens, you have to create a safe space, exposure. So I found that, doing videos, I have to be engaged with my audience. So some people will build a list, but they're not engaged with the list. So then the list becomes cold. So you really have to become an octopus. You have all these tentacles out there that you have to do different things. And it's not that you're overwhelmed with stuff. Yes, it can become overwhelming, but then you're not doing it all. I have a virtual assistant. I have an apprentice. I manifest an apprentice. So there's ways that you can bring in help that allow you to keep moving forward in exposure. I truly believe I've done this since day one. I have 25 years of sales background. So I do know marketing a little bit and sales a little bit, so that I look at everyone as a rainbow, and not about the pot of gold, but all the beautiful colors. How I can help them, how that there's many people behind them. So I don't see someone as just what I can get out of them, because that's not how I look at people. I look at how I can help them and all the other people that I can help. So when I go into a networking, I ask them, so tell me about you. If they want to tell me about their business, that's great, but I really want to know about them. What makes them run? What makes them excited? How they got into what they are. And then I really listen. I listen to their struggles. I listen to what that they're struggling with now and what they struggled with in the past. And it's not about building my own business. It's about how I can help them. I can give you an example. I was networking with a girl, and she was telling me about her business. I said, "Oh, that's really great." And I said, "Well, let's talk later on." So we set up a time to talk, and all I wanted to do was hear about her. She spent about 45 minutes talking. She goes, "Oh, I spent the whole time talking about me. What about you?" And I said, "Well, that's what I do, and it's okay." But I listened profoundly. I listened how eloquently she spoke. I listened how vulnerable and open and how connected she was on the conversation. Later that day, I was on a podcast, and the gentleman said, "Hey, I'm looking for new people." I always take the seeds. I just spoke to this girl. She was perfect on the phone. She would be great on a podcast. I sent her a text later on. I said, "Do you think that you would want to be on a podcast? I know you never have been, but you would be perfect." No judgment. I took it, gave it to her, and she was blown away. She said, "I can't believe I didn't give you anything. I took all the time." And I said, "But honey, you are excellent. You're helping him to be on his show. You're helping yourself, and I'm helping you. So what
Yeah.
more can I ask for, right?" And in the end, she came back to me as one of my clients. But in the end, I'm always looking to help even if it's the smallest ways, because I helped her, I helped him, and I helped myself. But I didn't know what I was going to get. I just like put my arms open and said, okay, whatever happens, happens. But in that profound way, in business and in marketing, you have to hear and listen to what other people need. You have to step into it. And I have this little basket in my head or in my back pocket that I have multiple people that I know that need help. And so when I talk to people, I get these flashes of other people, and I'm like, oh, I know who you can talk to. Oh, I know, or I'll send an email. I do this almost every day. And it's their opportunity to step into it. So with marketing, I look at everybody as how I can help them. I'm moving into all the avenues of networking, of doing weekly videos, of sending an email to them, to my email list, and it's just an email video, and then I just tell them where I am, the events, so they can choose to open it, and they can choose to find out where I am and follow me. So I give them opportunities. Again, it's all your choice to step into it. Truly, that's the ultimate way of marketing yourself, isn't it?
No, absolutely. I mean, my first 10 years of marketing was all word of mouth through BNI. I was a director and I was a member of my own group, and it was phenomenal. I still have a lot of those relationships from building them for so many years. And so now I'm just doing it more on a national level with people like yourself and others that we all go to the same conferences over and over again. So, we really do get to build those relationships, even though we're not necessarily living within the vicinity of each other, but we get to see each other enough.
Exactly. For a while, I had my own radio show, and
Wow.
I did. I had my own radio show, and what happened, it started migrating into highlighting all these magnificent people. So my book got put on hold, some of the others, upgrading my website.
Yes.
Yep. And so I said, wow, I really need to rethink this. And then I let it go. And I'm like, oh, do I really want to do that? Because I stepped into committing, I stepped into doing it. But what happens is that I want everyone to understand that you can make a decision and step into something, and you're moving with the energy of it. It doesn't necessarily mean that it's always going to be moving in that same direction with that energy. When I stepped out of it, I thought, wow, I really didn't want to do that. I really wanted to keep building it. But what I found was the energy wasn't supporting me in my relationship with all that is. So when I stepped out, wow, I like, look at all these recorded podcasts. They went right into my brand new branded website. It was awesome. And I didn't waste time, because a lot of people think, oh my God, I spent 6 months doing that radio show or doing that, that blog, and now what am I? I wasted all this time. You never waste time. If you're guided to step into it, as you're stepping out of it, look at what you've created and how you can re-content, repurpose what it is that you can use with it. It was perfect, so perfect.
Yeah, absolutely. And I know how that can really take so much time, and you feel like you're doing something for everyone else. I just started doing this about January, end of December, and I was doing them almost every day. I believe you're probably close to my 25th interview, and yeah, in just a couple months. And so I've decided I'm just doing it on Tuesdays now, unless there's some reason I need to make one up for someone on another day, because then that I can travel the rest of the week. I don't have to worry about rescheduling people, and so I'll do a couple a day. And now I've got enough under my belt so that I could do one a week for 6 months and be fine. I want to do more than that, and I want to keep meeting and bringing people on the show. But yeah, it does open a lot of doors for you, for sure.
Yep.
So that really works out well. So what tell us about? So I appreciate all of the different ideas. I know that you do a lot of different things to get your name out there, and it's the in-person networking takes the most time, and I'm glad it's working out really well for you. What can we do in business to use our intuition to get a better outcome?
Yep. So it goes back to trusting. So when you're trusting, I found that going into my business, like everyone else, I didn't know other than what I'm learning. You're only as good as what you know, right? And so that's why I'm always learning different things or listening up to what different people are talking about. Just like what we were talking about before we got on the show, right?
Yeah.
Like, ooh, something new I don't know about. I got to figure that out, right?
Yes.
And then what I found is as I trusted what I was creating, if I found that I wasn't feeling like I can confirm what I'm doing is proper, then I would take a course or I would network or I would, sorry about my cat just jumped up. I'd take a course or I would
I
network.
love it when animals participate. It's fine.
Yeah, she's been like talking to me for like the last 10 minutes. I'm like, stop, stop, stop. So, um, so then what I do is I
That's the beauty of live TV, right?
exactly. I really trust that what it is that I'm creating or doing, and then I start looking for confirmation. Like, like when I want something more, like I started hearing about Facebook Live and the TV and all that, and I recently, it was like 3 weeks, 2 weeks ago, I think, and then I said to myself, I need to know more about that. I need to know more about that, and I let it go because I was in the middle of creating some other products that needed a lot of my attention. But here we are today. So things that may not happen instantly when you're wanting to know it, but I trust it, I pull it in, and if I have time to learn more about it, I'll instantly move into it. If I don't, I take the little seed, I put it on the back burner, and I'll get back to that later. So when that happens, opportunities always pop up. Again, in business and how you can use your intuition is be mindful of the opportunities. As we were talking earlier, I'm like, oh, I need to know more about it, and you open the door for the opportunity. And
Right.
so that's right. And I love you for that. Thank you.
Oh, good.
Yeah. And so that is where, when you're trusting what you're creating in business and you're moving into it and you're helping others in service, that's where you're using your inner guidance and learning more because you're never as good as what you know, or you are as good as what you know, excuse me, and then moving into it, trusting it and trusting your intuition. If your intuition is saying, this sounds like a great opportunity, but something there is telling me I should probably wait. You know what? Then wait. Because trusting is trusting your feeling of not stepping into it and trusting it into stepping into it, meaning trusting your no and trusting your yes. A lot of people get confused when someone says, trust, trust, trust. And then they step into it and they say to themselves, you know what? My gut was telling me I shouldn't have done that with her because I didn't get what I wanted. They took advantage. Your trust was trusting that it was saying, don't do it. So meaning trust it yes, trust the no, right?
Mm-hmm.
So going into that, trust has a lot to do with a lot of stuff because what happens is that we get really clogged up in hearing the words, right? And thinking, oh, they're going to be a partner, they're going to help me. And then you're like, oh, this is really not working, something's going on. Trusting it to take you where you want to be. Now, you could have that moment, because this is the business, in using your intuition and feeling good and stepping into it. And then you don't get what you want, or the end result doesn't happen. Well, remember, we are all here to learn and expand. And so even though it didn't turn out exactly the way you wanted it or had planned, there's a way that you can see, how could I learn? It catapulted me into something else. I had an experience. You're going to love this. At the time, I didn't love it. I kind of actually cried a lot.
Oh.
I stepped into an experience with someone who was going to be working on a branding me in my new website and a sales funnel. In the end, 9 months later, I paid a carload of money with an unfinished website and a sales funnel that was in their Infusionsoft, meaning I had this. I had not a heart, I had this. had this, I had that, I had that, right? I cried. Oh my God, I was like devastated. It was my savings. I'm like, what? Now, here's what I trusted. I said to myself, I had to allow myself to cry for a couple days because I had to get rid of some of that anger. I was so angry. So I allowed myself
I
to cry
can
for,
imagine.
teeth
I
clenched.
had no idea that that happened. I remember you were redoing everything, and I knew it took a while, but
Yep, 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 yep. And then I allowed myself to get past the second day. And then I started saying to myself, I calm myself down. Like, this is what grounding, just calm yourself, ground. How can I get through this? Allow me to get through this. I know that this was not done to me, it was done for me. Because while I was working with them, they were holding me down. They weren't answering my questions fast enough, meaning I wasn't asking for instant gratification. But when you're not answering me in a week or 2 weeks and I'm paying you, there's
yeah,
something going on. And I kept saying, there's something not making sense. And I need to know why I can't get this. And why isn't this done? And why isn't this done? Oh, it takes some time. Time. It took 9 months, and 9 months for a website? What? Oh my God,
that's
people.
crazy.
It was crazy. So this is what happened. I ended up coming out of Costa Rica doing, I was filming a web TV series. And instead of going right home, I went inside. Now, this was the day everything was falling apart, but I didn't know until I left Costa Rica that everything was falling apart, meaning I found out that this company wasn't working with me anymore. They said they were going in another direction and taking my money and leaving me with nothing. Right, right, right. So I ended up moving my flight to stop in Florida, not going straight home. And this is just so not me because I usually have planned out and, I
Yeah,
feel
yeah,
more
yeah.
comfortable and I have an animal and children. But I did this. The day it all happened when I got to Florida, there was a person there. I'd been crying all day. My eyes were swollen shut. And she walked in and she ran over to me and got on the floor and she goes, "Oh my God, what is going on?" There was my answer. She came to me the very day it happened. Now, please, I know that some of you think that, universe, law of attraction, it's kind of woo-woo, but if you trust into the answers, you will receive them. And when all of this was happening, I trust my life and how it flows. I trust into going to Florida for whatever reason I was going there for. And I trusted to be with this person who, when she ran in, she's like, don't worry, don't worry. Move in through this, keep crying, but don't worry. We're going to flip this all around. Within 12 hours, she was able to save some things on the existing website, was able to create something that I could keep making money so that I still had a form of a sales funnel, but not the one that I paid for. And within 30 days, I made $9,000. $9,000 in
Wow.
30 days. And that was because I let that go. I didn't focus on, and I lost more than 9,000. Let's tell you that. But what I did was what some people in business start hanging on to that anger and all that money and what I lost, and then they keep hanging on to it, and it becomes a root, and then they're angry. What I did,
You have to let it go.
yeah, I said, you know what? I know whatever happened, happened. This is just money. It's just energy, everyone. It's just energy. I'm going to allow myself to cry and work through it. And I worked with this woman, and I got most of the money back. And then a better website. And then a better sales funnel. And then rebranding. It catapulted me way into anything and everything I'd never expected. So there is the intuition. There is trusting. Don't focus on the lack. Don't focus on the challenges. Don't focus on what you didn't get. Let it go. Forgive. Just know that you're not stepping into all the pain and anger. You're not stepping in to create it, because I did trust these people. They were my friends, and that's kind of made it worse. That I know that it's over with, and I am grateful to experience that, because I never would have gotten where I am. I never, in such the shortest period of time, and I've gotten like way more. My business
Well,
is way more better.
that's what you hope for when things go the wrong way, isn't it? You have to just pick yourself up and
Yes.
find a new direction and hope that you're pointing in the right direction and trying new things. I mean, so many things in marketing and in business is just about not being afraid to pick up and try something new when something else doesn't work. Throwing in the towel on one attempt is never going to get you anywhere. So,
Yeah,
um,
but trust. Yeah, trust into it, because that's, Erica, really the key element of, you can try something else, and then people get skittish or afraid, and then, or they have no money left. Plus, literally, I had no money left. But within 30 days, woo, you know, because I was able to manifest stepping into a woman who was able to help me step by step by step with just enough money to get me off that platform of destruction, because then I was like, whoa, and I was
yeah.
like self-destructing, right? And so trusting and opening, that's why I'm always networking, because I'm always talking to people and I'm always opening the doors, and that's when they're manifesting. Because remember, when people talk to me and I connect into someone else, they manifested me. They manifested the opportunity to talk to me, and that energy came together. So it's not just always me, it's them too.
Yes, absolutely. I think that's fantastic, and I appreciate you sharing those stories. I mean, you've been so open with some horrible things that have happened to you in business, and believe me, like this show has been so eye opening. I don't want to become a paranoid person doing the show, but I've had people tell me about people stealing from them and money laundering, all horrible things that have happened to them, and they always find a way back, and they get their business back, and they make it successful again. Or sometimes that doesn't work out, and you go in a different direction, and you work for somebody else. But either way, you can't just fall apart and leave it like that. So I love your stories. I think that it's fantastic, and really I think that the ongoing theme today has been trust your instincts and listen to yourself. I mean, that's the best way to really make those decisions. And as you said, not just for the yes, I want to do something, but for the no's too. Um, make sure you're trusting both of those instincts. I think it's fantastic. Is there something you'd like to? We're coming up toward the end here. Is there something you'd like to promote to the audience today?
Oh, thank you. You're so generous. I love you so much, Erica. So, if you go to my website, terriechristine.com, it's my name, so it's Terrie, Christine. And all you have to do is put your name and email, and I'll send you my Theta Stream. It's a guided meditation with Theta sound. It takes you to the deeper levels of the mind. If you're just beginning to get into meditating, or if you're a seasoned person who meditates quite often, Theta Stream, or excuse me, Theta Sound allows you to go to that deeper level to get rid of the mind chatter. It's a guided one, so it can help you to release anything that you're focusing on, so that it gives you that time to go within and connect. So, and then please follow me on Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, because YouTube I post weekly, and I can send that YouTube video in your email box every week. So I'm still trying to open up and expand. There's a lot of other gifts on there too, but please, yeah, go to terriechristine.com and I will love you back.
Well, I mean, and too, like those kinds of gifts are the kind that keep giving, because if you can clear blocks and you can quiet the chatter, you can achieve more in the long run. And I think that that's really um, a common goal for a lot of business people.
Yeah, and I liked when you said right before I took over a minute that you said listen to yourself, listen to your negative talk too, because we
Mm,
can all like say, oh, things are great, but I can't stand that person, or I don't like that person. You know what? Listen to yourself too, because that's not going to get you anywhere. That's judgment. Let go of the judgment and move into all the things that you want. Let that person live over there in their life. If you're not liking, it has nothing to do with you. You're judging them. So let it go. Honor that person for who they are, and they don't have to be in their little bubble. Let it go.
Absolutely. Well, I want to thank you so much for sharing so much with us today. I know that the audience has really enjoyed learning everything that you have to teach, and I'm sure there are going to be some people that want to get out there and learn more about what you have to teach, because you're so open and positive, and you have a great energy, which is perfect for your line of work. And so thanks again for coming on the show. Really appreciate having you here today and having you take the time, even getting over the flu. And I do hope that you feel better soon.
Yeah, thank you. And thank you for taking the time to reach out to me, because, we talked about that. And for the people that are watching, taking the guided action to last all the way through the show. So thank you. I'm really grateful. Thank you.
Thank you so much. So this is Erica DELSIGNORE. I am the founder of Daily Lead Campaign, and you've been watching my video interview series, Great Minds, Great Marketing. We are looking forward to seeing you next time. And thanks again for watching. Have a great day.